Okay, Algebra 8, we are on to our last section. This one, we're gonna turn our packets this way. We are gonna talk about inequalities, okay? So these are, and they should be familiar to you. We have less than, greater than, less than or equal to, it has the line underneath, and greater than or equal to, and also has a line underneath. The one thing I want you to pay close attention to is how they are represented on the number line. They are going to be represented with, this one is an open circle, a closed circle, and a closed circle. Now I know that might not make much sense yet, but as I graph these, they should. So when you graph an inequality, you are going to put one of these circles on the number line at that number. So for example, this one is x is less than 3, so I'm going to put an open circle on 3. You have to make sure that I can tell that it's open. So it's easy when you can read them, so it's good to practice that. So x is less than 3. So x is all the numbers that it could be. So what numbers are less than 3? The ones on this side of the 3. And we draw it with a big arrow. So that we know that all of these values, and going into the negatives, would make that inequality true. 2 is less than 3, 1 is less than 3, those types of things. So it says, graph the inequalities on the number line and describe the possible solutions on the lines provided. So we would say any value or number less than 3 will make the inequality true. Okay, so now we're going to do the next one. This one is x is greater than 3. So an open circle on the 3. And we're going to go the greater than. So all these numbers that are greater than. Okay, and the reason why it's in a solid line here and then an arrow, because it includes 3.5 and 4.2 and 5.1. It includes every little tiny digit in between there. So that's why we represent it like a solid line and not just dots, because you have to remember that there's numbers between every number on a number line. So this would be any number greater than 3 will make the inequality true. So the reason why we have an open circle on these two is because the exact number 3 will not make it true. You could read this, and 3 is not less than 3. 3 is not greater than 3. And so you have to be careful on those that we leave that open circle. So it could be 3.01, but not 3. Okay, so then moving on to our next two. X is less than or equal to, so this is where we're going to shade that circle in because it says or equal to, so that means that it could also be equal to 3. So then when we do this, it's any number less than or equal to. And then this one, a closed circle on this 3 and going this direction. So this one was any number, greater than or equal to. So not and equal to, but or equal to. Okay, so now we are going to practice solving it. So we've been practicing solving just regular equations. So now we're going to solve the inequality, which is much the same, and then graph the inequalities on the number line. So again, you can draw a line here. How do you get x by itself? Well, you subtract 2. X, bring down the inequality symbol, is less than 6 minus 2 is 4. So 4 is going to be where you start on the number line, and it's not a less than or equal to, so it's an open circle. X is less than 4, so it goes this way. So you have 2 parts to your answer here. This one, you want to get x alone, so you move the 5. So you add 5 to both sides. X is greater than 6. So then you put an open circle on your 6, and you shade this way. So what this means is that any number over here, like if I put an 8 into this, 8 minus 5 is greater than 1. Is 8 minus 5 is 3. Is 3 greater than 1? Yes. But if I put a 2 in, let's just practice this. 2 minus 5 is greater than 1. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. Is negative 3 greater than 1? No. So these answers will not make the equation true, but these answers will make the inequality true. That's the difference there. Okay. So now we have got these 2-step equations. So the first thing I'm going to do is minus the 1 from both sides. 2x is less than or equal to 10. Divide both sides by 2. X is less than or equal to 5. So I've got to find my 5 on my graph, and I'm going to shade my circle in because our inequality has a line underneath it and it says less than, so I shade to the left. And when I look at your graph, I should be able to tell your circle and what direction your arrow is going. Same thing here. I'm going to find my x. I'm going to move my 7 first, so I'm going to subtract it. And then I have 3x is greater than or equal to 12. And then I divide both sides by 3. X is greater than or equal to 4. So then I put my closed circle on 4. X is greater than or equal to, and I shade to the right. Okay, so basically you're just combining how to read and graph with how to solve equations. And then you should be able to put both things together, but you have to have both the inequality and the graph for your final answer there. So just make sure you're able to do both. And that's it. So we'll move on to the practice.